What up, Screen Fiends? I'm GB, and you're tuned in to Headz TV, where we like to discuss all the wonderful things appearing on your movie and your TV screens. In this episode, I'm going to give my review of Fear the Walking Dead, Season 3, Episode 4, titled 100. Alright, so Fear, Season 3, Episode 4, 100. Right off the bat, let me say, I liked it. Was it the best episode? I don't think it was the best episode. I really enjoyed the ending. I enjoyed the story throughout. I did have a few problems with it. I'm sure my problems are similar to your problems, if you had any with it. So I'll get to that in a second. But all in all, this was a pretty good episode. I liked it better than episode 2, definitely. I don't know if I liked it as much as I liked episode 1, but it was good. So far this season, out of the 4 episodes, it was definitely one of the better ones. Okay, I just want to talk about the title for 1 second before I forget. So 100 was, alright, so the guy asks Daniel how many people you've killed. Daniel says 96, and then by the end of the episode, he kills 4 more people, so that's 100. So I kind of like that, how the episode ties in. All right, the synopsis for this episode read: a mysterious character searches for purpose and becomes tied to the struggle over a resource. Now, as I predicted, but not taking credit, my prediction really came from the trailer. We knew that Daniel was going to be a big focus of this episode. So I said that's who the mysterious character was going to be in my predictions video. And that's who the mysterious character is. It's Daniel getting caught in between Ephraim, and the dam people. Because apparently there's like a leak of water. And at the same time, every day or once a week or whatever, the water came out and they went and got the water or whatever, and then the damn people look at it as being stealing. Now, once again, Fear the Walking Dead has a really good idea. This struggle over water in a post-apocalyptic world is amazing. I love it. The Walking Dead has done nothing like that. I love that. But on top of, the way it was handled, to me, wasn't done well, which is what Fear's biggest problem is good ideas executed piss poorly. So, what would have been a better thing to do was to drag out Daniel's story over the course of a few episodes, 2-3 episodes. Think of what they did with the governor's rebirth into the show with those 2 episodes, where a lot of people may not have liked those episodes. And I'm not saying they all or both whatever had to be standalone Daniel episodes. But if you would have given us a little more time with that, it would have resonated a lot more, and it would have built that awesome story much better. But of course, now you've rushed it like Fear always does with their good ideas. We should have been out on the boat for a whole season, not for 4 episodes. You know what? You understand what I'm saying? Is that it was a whole half a season, to be fair. That's one of the problems with Fear, is rushing things along when they shouldn't be, and then spending too much time with something when they shouldn't. They have it backwards, and it all goes to a pacing problem. I got a video to come about the pacing problem. I know I'm always making videos trashing Fear, and I just want to say, and I've always said it, I want to like the show, and I like a lot of the ideas they have for the show, but the way they execute it, and I blame it entirely on showrunning and directors. It really all falls on the showrunner, because that's the guy who oversees everything. So I believe it. Man, I don't know where these stains on this shirt came from. I think something's wrong with my washing machine. But when it comes to the way that they handle a lot of these storylines, the director, the showrunner, it's like the showrunner's job is to say, well, that's not realistic enough, or that doesn't work, or you need to go a different direction, or we need to stay here longer, or not stay here as long, or these characters in this place aren't that interesting, we need to spice things up. And that all to me fall. I think his name is Dave Erickson. That all falls on his shoulders to me. And then the directing in the episodes are done poorly because also it seems like they're not taking their time to pay attention to detail and what's going on and the motivations of the characters. And I blame none of the cast. I blame none of the cast. Even members that I don't think do that great of a job on the show, I think that they're doing the best they can with what they have. So I like this episode 100 a lot. I like to see Daniel's journey. Now, once again, this storyline feels a tad bit too much like a mix of Morgan with his season 6 stuff, kind of coupled in with Merle. But I like what they did with him at the end because I really thought he was going to go full on bad and throw those people off and then join Dante as a henchman. And he really surprised me with, turning the gun on everybody and the way he did it. And it was really gangster. And I love how we got more of his backstory that, it appears that he worked for the scary side of things in whatever revolution he was part of. I didn't really do research on it, but the way Dante reacts as he's trying to figure out and piece together who and what Daniel is exactly. I like the way that was done, and it was handled nicely. It seems to me so far in season 3, we're going in the right direction. It seems to be improving. Where season 2 to me was abysmal. I don't ever want to watch it again. I probably will watch it again, but I really don't want to. But season 3 looks like it might be shaping up okay. So I really like that end scene. I thought that was good. I don't have a problem with the subtitles. I see people complaining about subtitles. I don't mind subtitles, but you really should do them right. And I don't know why people are still on this. Subtitles have to be at the bottom of the screen. They have to be white, and they're like the thinnest possible font. This is the worst possible way to do subtitles because you're making it too hard to see. And not only that, too hard to see while also trying to pay attention to what's going on screen with the actors and your scenery and what's actually happening in the show, right? So what they really should do is yellow font is less harsh on the eyes and it stands out more. It should be thicker font, and they can even take take a lesson from one movie that stands out is Man on Fire with Denzel Washington, where they have the subtitles like in different places on the screen. So as you're reading it, it's also taking your eyes around the screen so you're not missing the action or the actors or whatever else is going on. And I feel like that's important to do, because when you put it at the bottom, it turns it into a race on how fast I can read and then get back. And you lose a lot in translation. So I think that should be changed on anything, everything, not just Fear. That's not a beating up on Fear. That's just the way most shows and movies handle subtitles. That's all. But I think it's a bold thing to do a show almost entirely in another language in America, especially in today's climate, with political climate. I'm not going to get into all that, but you know what I'm saying. So I think that's a pretty bold move to do that, and to have it be one of the better episodes of your entire series, I think also says something about maybe going in the right direction. I just hope we start to see better attention to detail, as well as better overall writing, and better pacing. Those are my biggest problems with Fear: is pacing, character, and poor attention to detail. And when they're writing these characters, they're not paying enough attention to detail again to who the character is and what they're capable and not capable of doing in that moment. So if they correct those things, Fear can become a very, very, very good show. But not only that, a well-received show by critics and fans who are kind of a mixed bag, but I think more lean towards negative than positive, from what I read and see. But I liked this episode overall. There's not really a lot to talk about it. I hated I'll talk about things I didn't like real quick. I hated the lightning thing. I know everybody's probably talking about the lightning thing. I absolutely cannot. Oh, it was so stupid. It was such a bad way to get a good, cool character out of a bad situation. I liked the Walker, the big, scary Walker that makes him even scarier because he's like a big, scary looking dude. And this episode had a little bit more of that. The Walkers seemed scary, which is what Fear always lacked and still does lack to a certain degree. And they need to step that up too and start making it a horror show like The Walking Dead is, and start making the Walkers scary. Walking Dead is excusable for why the Walkers aren't as scary anymore, because we had 4 seasons of them being terrifying. So, come on, get with the program. But that Walker was scary. Why take him out that way? I don't know. To me, that's the laziest writing possible. I can't figure out any other way to get this injured character, who's more than capable of figuring out a Rambo tactic to get out of that, all right? He was basically Rambo in this episode in how they portrayed him. So, to have it be an act of God that takes out this giant Walker, and an act of God that's so rare that you're probably more likely to, hit the lotto or whatever than to get struck by lightning. So it's such a rare occurrence, and it was just such lazy, terrible writing to me. I didn't like how Daniel wasn't more burned than just on his leg. I know he kind of explains how he got out of the situation and everything, but I feel like it would have been cool to have a scarred character like Dwight. And yes, maybe I would have compared him to Dwight slightly. But when I make comparisons, normally I only point out the negative ones, not the positive ones, but there are positive parallels to the shows. I don't totally not like how this kind of feels like the Prison Woodbury thing, because it's starting to feel like it might be different enough. But now I'm starting to think they're going in an even bigger, different direction, and that's a good thing. I'll get to that in my predictions. But all in all, I like this episode. I do have, some small complaints, but it feels like Fear is improving to me from watching this season. I still have problems, but I have problems with The Walking Dead lately too, the regular one. So, not too many shows are perfect, even though I am spoiled and enjoying a lot of near perfect, or as close to perfect as anything's going to get TV right now, in Fargo and American Gods and Better Call Saul right now, all just hitting the mark on such a high level. Really incredible stuff. If you're not watching any of those shows, you're kind of missing out. They might be a little bit slower, but not slower than Fear. Slower than The Walking Dead, because The Walking Dead has tons of action. Sure. Fear has almost no action. So if you like Fear, and the action they have are like quick little scenes, if you like Fear and you can deal with Fear, you should give Fargo or Better Call Saul a chance. There might not be as much action as Fear, and that's saying a lot because Fear doesn't have very much, but it's still exciting. They still manage to ramp up tension and keep you really excited. So these are shows that you may want to check out, or maybe you don't. But all in all, I like this episode. I want to hear from you guys, so sound off down below. Let me know what you thought about Fear Season 3, Episode 4, 100. What you think about Fear in general, the show at all. Just, anything Fear related, hit me up down below. I'm good. Pretty good, usually. We're getting back to my comments rather quickly. So I like to talk about this stuff. I like to engage. I can't do that without your guys engaging me. I'm starting it. You guys need to continue, and then I'll continue, right? So thank you so much for watching. Always appreciated. You guys have a fantastic day. And take a look out for more Fear stuff coming this week. Predictions and a couple of discussion videos I got in mind. Mostly negative. Got some positive things to say. So that's that. Thanks again for the 8 millionth time. I'm sure you guys have a fantastic day, and I will see you next time.